we have a guest, Christian Community Credit Union. I was talking about them at length yesterday with someone on I do almost every day. But Aaron Caid is on with us, and Aaron is the Chief Marketing Officer for Christian Community Credit Union, Senior Vice President. And it's always great to get kind of an idea of where they're headed, what they're doing, what they're working on. It's very exciting to see the growth that they are seeing and hearing about. So, Aaron, welcome. I sure appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It's great to be with you, Dan.
Aaron, I was just talking in the first segment as we opened the hour, I was talking about interest rates a little bit and where they're going in housing and all those kinds of things. And, we see housing for the third quarter up 22.9%. That's a record since 1968. This has happened the very same time that interest rates have ticked up a bit in mortgages, although I think they may have come down late last week to where they were. But, and more people that I talk to and this turned into a conversation yesterday on air about Christian Community Credit Union, but so many more people. 92% of people, 92% of people, this is according to the Wall Street Journal, don't trust their financial services company, their banks. 92%. That's unbelievable to me. If that is true in the Christian community, what are you doing? And we have Christian Community Credit Union that you need to talk to. And the thing that I struggle most with, Aaron, is overcoming this. Well, they're not near me. I would submit to everybody listening that your financial advisor, if you have one, or even your bank, if they're around the corner from you, I would submit that 90% of the time you pick up the phone and talk to somebody if you can. 90% of the time. Does it matter if they're in another state? It doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. We don't live in that world anymore. We're not walking to the bank. So we need to be aware of that. Tell us some of the things that you are trying to get across right now to people that you can help them in certain areas. Which areas would you emphasize if you had to today?
Yeah, just to pick up on that thought, we are as close as your mobile phone. So many of the majority of our members do business with us online and via their mobile phone. And then many do business with us over the phone. So physical location we've found isn't really that important any longer. It's what matters is the service that's behind it. And what matters is the products and how they're priced and how and the service promise that stands behind them. And something I'm excited to talk about today is a product we just launched a couple of weeks ago in response to our members' wishes to be able to consolidate higher rate debt and pay it down at a very low rate. We launched the MyAdvantage loan, which is a fixed rate, fixed term personal loan. And the rates are as low as 4.65%. So that allows you to take debt from secular banks, from other areas, consolidated at a much lower rate, and then pay it off. And terms are up to 60 months. And if folks can borrow as much as $50,000, all of this is dependent on credit score. But sure. But it's a very economical way to consolidate and pay down higher interest rate debt.
Yeah, boy, that is a great program, and that is something that we need desperately, and it's one of the things that people ask me about all the time. And let me ask you a question about that. If someone had $22,000, say, in student loan Now, that may not be necessarily, an exorbitant higher interest rate. But if they could refinance that in a private situation, they would be so much better off. At least that's what I tell people all the time. I believe that. Can something like that work in this kind of program?
Absolutely. Student loan debt, other installment loans, credit card debts. Many types of loans are at much higher levels of interest. And from what our research has told us is that our rate of 4.65%, as low as 4.65%, just can't be beat. I haven't seen anyone out there who's offering a rate that is competes with that.
And I'll tell you something else, folks. You won't have a better experience anywhere, I promise you. I mean, you've heard the calls. If you're a listener, a regular listener, you've heard people call and say, oh my gosh, thank you for Christian Community Credit Union. I appreciate it so much, because they love, you can pick up the phone and talk to somebody. And if you forgot to say something, you can hang up and call back and get the same person. I mean, that's kind of unheard of today. But you start to build a relationship, and it's such a pleasure and a joy to do business like that. Yeah, and I know that that's a part of it. I know the student loan issue. It's a big concern to me. I talked about it yesterday, Aaron, because do you know that the average student loan debt for people 62 and older is $37,000?
That's incredible.
And let me tell you something, folks. It will be leaned against your Social Security check. I know people, I've had people call in and talk about that. And if you've got a poorly structured student loan, or let me even say this, and this goes for young people too, it's irrelevant. Interest rates are almost irrelevant on that. But I'll tell you what will happen if you get that into a loan like this. You'll pay it off a whole lot quicker. I can guarantee you. Why? Because you're going to have to make a payment for whatever it is every month, and you're going to be much more focused on that. Their interest rate and likelihood is going to be lower, and you're going to get more of it's going to go to principal, and you're going to get it paid off faster. And I strongly suggest you doing that. And I strongly suggest that if you have a line of credit at your bank, how many of you have a line of credit on your home and you're paying interest only? Oh, that's nice. Well, 30 years from now, you're still going to have the principal. 40 years from now, because the banks aren't going to, they don't care if you ever pay any principal. They could care less. They're getting the interest rate. The interest rate goes up from the Fed, your rate goes up. This would be a great time to be thinking about that as well.
And you can use this loan for, we know there are a lot of folks who are looking to be able to expand their family through adoption. And adoption can be an expensive process that not everyone has money saved to do. So the MyAdvantage loan also helps families who are looking to answer God's calling to adopt a child in foster care or adopt an orphan, and expand their family that way too.
So, Aaron, tell me what somebody has to do. Is there a special extension or person they need to ask for? How does that? What would somebody do right now if they want to start the process and talk to somebody on the phone?
The two easiest ways to do it are to go to our website, and you can actually go to a page that we've built for your listeners, mycccu.com/Dan. Or can call the toll-free number 844-305-3476, and that's 844-305-FISM.
And they would say, what is the name of this type loan?
The MyAdvantage loan.
The MyAdvantage loan. So they could talk to somebody if they call, or they can look up on the website MyAdvantage loan.
Exactly.
Okay. Great. And folks, that's exactly what we need. You need to be doing. Listen, we don't talk about debt here. We don't want debt. We don't like debt. We despise debt. We don't want anybody to be a servant to the debt. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of how much we all dislike it. The fact of the matter is it's a reality of so many lives out there right now. And if you're somebody that is dealing with that, man, get a little bit of a lower interest rate, pay a little bit more towards your principal, and start working to get rid of this debt. And it'll free you up far sooner than you might think. So
Absolutely.
that's great. That's great stuff, Aaron. And you guys just started this a couple of weeks ago?
We did. We just launched this about 3 weeks ago, and there's been great demand from not only from existing members but from new members as well. And we built this because we surveyed our membership base and heard that this was a big need. So this is answering the wishes of our members, but we're finding that it's resonating with folks who are not yet credit union members.
So give that phone number out again. And
it's 844-305-FISM.
And also, folks, go to FISM or financialissues.org. Click on the CCCU banner. It'll take you right to the page that you can get all the information. Aaron Caid, I sure appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll be right back, folks.